I was a multi six-figure funded trader until I stopped doing this one important thing, journaling. Now, journaling is so important to recognize the good setups you take and also the bad setups that you take. Is one of the most important things that I stopped doing when I started losing my funding. So I had around 700k I think funding between around February time. And in March and April, I noticed that I just started to lose. I was losing trades and I couldn't really work out why. So during this losing streak, instead of me, trying to work out what I did wrong by journaling, I thought to myself, oh, I don't want my journal to look like I've got a bunch of losses on there. I was more bothered about how the journal would look on the outside, even though no one looks at my journal. So I stopped noting down the trades that I was taking. So fast forward a few months, I lost over $400,000 in funding due to just me repeating the same mistakes that I was making. And that's why journaling is so important. In May, I decided to pick up my journal again and I backdated all of the trades that I had been taking and finally decided to take some accountability. So I went back through all of those trades and I worked out if I would have just been journaling the whole time, I could have stopped losing a lot of funding. So the main reason behind me losing all of that funding is that I was making the same mistakes every single time. Okay, I would be, let's say, trading against order flow. I would lose. Okay, normally what you would do, you journal that, you'd maybe write yourself a note saying, okay, I'm not going to trade against order flow again. What did I do? I skipped out the journaling part and I just kept doing the same thing, trading against order flow again and again and again, until the point where I actually realized myself while I was sort of setting up my next trade, I thought, hold on, I've seen a setup like this before and I'm pretty sure I lost. Normally what you would do, you'd go back to your journal and you go, okay, yeah, this was the setup, blah, 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 this happened. I couldn't do that because I skipped out my journal. So this video is exactly why journaling is so important. And that's just the backstory of the reason why I'm making this video today. Okay, so let's take you through some of the mistakes I was making. So I'm going to show you using the DXY because it's a very similar profile right now to how it was when I was losing my funding. Okay, so let's go take it back to here. Okay, so this is February time. Let me grab a box. So here we are. So this is the month of February. So this green box here, okay? This was the month I had so many good trades. I had 7 trades and 7 wins. I didn't take a single loss in February. This is the daily candle right here. So you'd obviously have like pullbacks into this daily FEG. I would have shorted DXY from here. Sells probably would have taken profit here or here. And then look, another daily fair value gap would have done the same thing into here. Sells from here would have taken profit down here at this low. And then obviously we sort of had this push up here, which for me, I kind of saw this as okay, look, so we've closed above, we would have closed above order flow right here. Let me just get rid of this. We would have closed above on the daily, possibly flipping order flow. So that's when I was like, okay, cool. DXY buys maybe in. We may have just, this is a small pullback, and then look, DXY buys. So that's kind of what I thought would happen at the time. So what I did is obviously stuck on that bias of DXY buys. So then when we took this low here, I remember this actually. I used to think, so this was what, a couple of days candles, and there was just no retracements at all. There was nothing, no pullbacks, no nothing, just straight dying, like the candles just died. And this is what caused me the problems, okay? So I would be constantly trying to, let's get a path. I would be constantly trying during these candles. So for example, when we broke this low here, I'd be trying to get a trade back into here, and then I'd be trying to look for buys still because I was still convinced that DXY buys. When I finally realized it was DXY sells around this area here, sorry, and it was one of those where we'd obviously just taken this low here. We'd just taken this low here. I can't even keep that straight, but don't worry about that. And I was like, okay, could have swept this low potentially. Let's look for DXY buys. So I was still stuck on the same bias of DXY buys. So all up here, I was looking buys. Can we get buys? I obviously did win a few trades, but you got to think I was just constantly flipping bias. A second ago here, I wanted DXY shorts. Then as soon as we swept this low, I'm thinking, okay, buys. So I probably caught some short-term buys up here. And the problem is that I was still stuck on buys. So then when it started flipping again here, I was still stuck on buys, still taking the same losing trades. But because I wasn't journaling those trades, that is why I kept losing. So now this is the lesson, obviously, that you wanted to learn. So fast forward to now. So this is obviously right now, 30th of July. We have tapped into this daily fair value gap here, and we are showing significant signs of bullish price. Now, the same mistake I didn't want to catch is for the whole last week, I wanted DXY sells, DXY sells, DXY sells. Now it's buys, okay, there hasn't been an opportunity for me to actually capitalize on. But this is, let's go down to the hourly time frame. This is the problem that I was having before. So you see obviously here, this is Monday. Let's get another box just to show you. So yeah, this is 3 days of price action. This is insane. For 3 days of price action, this is crazy, okay? Absolutely ridiculous. And where could you have got in? Because for me, for my model, there is not anywhere here that I'd be willing to buy from. I would like to buy from somewhere here, but guess what? I don't trade Mondays, okay? So then you get another box. Okay, so now the pink box here, this is Monday price action, okay? So anything in here, I didn't even entertain. I didn't even look at the chart, okay? From Tuesday price action, which is obviously here, where could I have bought from? Because there's nowhere safe here to put a stop loss. If I buy DXY from here, and obviously the target is this blue line, where am I going to put a stop loss? Because I would like to cover the range. Negative RR. Could I put a stop loss here? Not really, because in hindsight, that was a 4-hour fair value gap that could have been ran through. You never know. Obviously, in hindsight, it didn't, but we're not hindsight traders. So yeah, it's been a difficult week, but the whole point of this video is that these are the sorts of weeks where I would be losing my funding before, because I would be chasing the buys. I would be trying to buy at any point here, putting a silly stop loss and potentially getting swept out. Obviously, this week it hasn't really happened like that. It's been a little bit of a different profile, but it's similar in the sense that the price is flying. There's been no pullbacks. There's been nowhere to get in. But obviously, this is where I was going wrong before, and this is what my journal taught me. So yes, that was the importance of journaling. I have not taken any trades this week because I learned from March times when I lost my funding that these weeks are not good for me. These are the sorts of weeks where I would lose everything, okay? So what did I do? I learned from that, and now I'm not trading. So this week I've sat out, haven't caught anything. I'm actually very happy that I haven't, because it shows that 1, I've listened to my journal, and 2, I've not made the same mistake again, which at that point, if you make rules for yourself and you can't listen to them, and if you note things down in your journal and you can't learn from them, what is the point of you being a trader? So yeah, harsh reality, but here we are. Like I said, no trades this week. Probably won't trade at all unless FOMC tonight can present something, or if NFP can maybe present something for next week. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.